Foyo Games. All right, looking at Kryptik. Flipping through the cards, Kryptik TCG. I think there's about 140 or so cards in here. And if you haven't seen it, check out my last video, Kryptik How to Play, community-driven TCG. Lots of great art by all type of creators. I think the designer commissioned like nine artists off of Instagram. Yep, and he's even got a lot of works by some dead artists. And every piece of artwork looks pretty beautiful so far. So let's check out the art and see if we can see some good mechanics in the game. All right, so these are all from the Genesis set, the set that's set to release on, that's set to be sold on KickStarter, coming up on April 15th. So check them out on KickStarter. There's two type of cards in the game so far. There are spells and there are the citizens, which are the equivalent to creatures. And as far as I know, there's only 4 types of citizen categories, which are the undead, the humans, the ascendants, which are basically angels, and mystics, mystical people. All right, anyway, Vital Deliverance, a spell, costs you 1 generic mana and 1 either blue or green mana to cast. And when you flip these cards upside down in Kryptik, you can put these in the soul row, the mana row, and they act as lands or mana. And they would provide you, this would be the equivalent of a dual land. It'll give you either 1 blue or 1 green soul per turn whenever you tap it, or whatever the word's called. All right, and this card does, you may search your main deck for a card and place it in your soul row engaged. Engaged is the equivalent of tapped. Disengaged is untapped. All right, shuffle your main deck. And say that a card was in your 11th hour row. 11th hour is basically at the beginning of the game. You're going to put out 6 of these cards from your deck. The top 6 cards of your deck face down. Don't get to peek at them or whatever unless the card says you can. And then these basically act as shields. Whenever your opponent knocks out all 6 of your shields, aka 11th hour cards, then they hit you for 1 final blow, then you lost the game. All right, so whenever an 11th hour card is undefended, unblocked, it gets flipped over. Then everybody can look at it or whatever. Then the defender that got that card hit, they can actually cast this card for the 11th hour cost, which in this case is 1 generic soul. So if they choose not to cast that card or can't afford it or whatever, they would actually add the card to their hand. The defender would. All right. Well, yeah, that's that card. 1 card down. Many more to go. Mortal Blow. It's a spell. Costs 1 generic mana and 1 either black or white mana. And destroy target citizen and abolish target 11-year card you control. If you are short on time, just destroy target citizen. Short on time means if you have less 11th hour cards active, aka less shields active than the opponent, then you get to do the short time effect. Pretty cool. Clapton Irons. Nice art right there. And like, you know, the print quality or whatever of these cards I have right here, not the greatest, but I'm sure, like, you know, when you get the real product, it'll look real nice. But anyway, this one costs 1 white. No. 1 generic and either 1 white or 1 blue. Engage target citizen. It does not disengage for as long as it stays on the island. Island is basically the citizen role, the creature role. Island right there. Soul role, island, and then 11th hour role. As long as it stays in the island. If you are short on time, destroy target citizen instead. A lot of short on time. So it's like you might want to be real strategic as to the quickness of when you're knocking off people's 11th hour cards, because it could backfire on you. Okay, Ferocious Ranks. I mean, look at that beautiful bean footage. witches, or these aristocracy females with symbols on their heads. Ferocious ranks, a spell. Look at all of your 11-year cards. Man, okay, it goes back and forth between being 11-hour and 11-year cards. Maybe they're 11-year. I could be getting it all mixed up. But okay. Look at all of your 11-year cards. You may place a citizen card from among them onto the island under your control until the end of the turn. It becomes eager, which is basically haste or whatever. Can attack as soon as it comes out. If you are short on time, it also becomes ravenous until the end of turn. Ravenous is deadly, but I'm not gonna look it up right now. And then the 11-hour effect of this is you may discard this card and draw one if this card was drawn as a destroyed 11-year card. Yeah, maybe it's 11-year. Maybe it's not 11th hour. I might be tripping. But 11 hours seems to go way better with 11-year. But anyway, Bibliomania, another spell, cost you 1 generic, 2 green, and 1 black. Abolish target 11-year card. If you are on short time, you may cast it without paying its soul cost until end of turn. And then you can... the 11-year cost of this one is just 3 generic mana. Provides 1 green mana or 1 black soul if it were in the soul row. Buddhica Human, citizen, not a spell. It has 11 attack. She has 9 defense. She's holding a head by the hair. That's pretty cool. Cost you 1 generic and 3 white to cast. Steadfast. Attacking doesn't cause Buddhica to become engaged. So, forget the word in Magic, but yeah, I think it's called Endurance. But whenever Buddhica attacks, you may put target disengaged citizen from your soul roll onto the island attacking. Unless it does... Okay, so unless it dies in combat, return it to your soul roll at the end of combat. Okay. And she provides 1 white soul, and if she's revealed from the soul roll, you can play her for 3 generic soul instantly. Okay, Henry Mystic costs 1 generic, 3 blue or green. She's an 8/12. You may look at the top card of your main deck at any time. Okay, nice, almost scry. Whenever Henry would destroy a citizen in combat, it's abolished instead. Danae, I think we might have a little glance of nibble right there. That's nice. Mystic, 3 generic, 2 either blue or green, 14/11. When Danae enters the island, draw 1 for each type of citizen in your limbo pile. Limbo pile is the discard pile. That's cool. Rhea, 9/7, costs 2 and a green. Citizens your opponents control lose eager. Eager is, can attack when played. If you control no 11-year cards, those citizens also lose sidestep. Okay. Cool. Then we got Dead on Arrival, a spell, costs you 2 blue or green, 2 blue and or green, counter target citizen, so you can stop them from being cast. Vivication, spell, costs 1 blue or 1 white, probe 1, then draw 1. If you are short on time, probe 2, then draw 2 instead. You are on short time if your opponent controls more 11-year cards than you. And yeah. Iris, she's an ascendant, which is basically an angel. She's a 14/11, 14 attack, 11 health. Cost you 5, 3 generic, 2 white. Pay 3 generic and 2 white, and abolish Iris or an 11-year card you control. Gain control of target citizen. Cool. You can just gain the opponent's citizen. Makami. Another glimpse at a nipple. Another glimpse at some areola. Mystic. She's an 8/8. costs you 3, 1 generic, and 2 green. When Mikami enters the island, draw a card for each 11-year card citizens you control destroyed this turn. All right, let's read that again. When Mikami enters the island, draw a card. Yeah, see, the reason why I'm messing that up is because there's absolutely no punctuation in this sentence except for the period at the end. All right, one more time. When Mikami enters the island, draw a card for each 11-year card citizens you control destroyed this turn. Yeah, okay, so if you pop some shields this turn, you get to draw some extra cards. Vidar and Undead, and you can clearly see that it's a 5/7, cost 1 and a black. If you have an Ascendant Citizen card in your limbo pile, when Vidar enters limbo from the island, you may probe 1. If you control an Ascendant and an Undead Citizen card in your limbo pile at that time, you may draw 1 instead. We got Blitz Spell, cost 2 in either 2 white or blue. Citizens you control get +7/+7 until end of turn. If you're on short time, target citizen also becomes ravenous or gains sidestep until end of turn. Kansu Human, 2-drop, 1 white, 1 white and 1 generic, 8/4. If you control another human citizen, when Kansu dies, you may probe 1. If you're on short time, you may draw 1 instead. Probe is, I'm sure, it sounds like scry, which is look at the top of the deck, and you can either keep it on the top or put it on the bottom. Sounds like probe. Mokash Human, 10/6, cost you 2 generic, 1 white. When Mokash dies, you may return target non-undead citizen from your limbo pile to your hand. Argus and Undead, 12/13, 2 generic, and 3 either green or black. Sidestep. Argus can only be blocked by citizens with sidestep. Okay, like flying, sidestep is the flying. Whenever an undead citizen dies under your control, you may pay 2 green or black. If you do, draw 1. Dumuzi, 3-drop, 1 generic, 1 green, 1 black, 8/8. Other undead citizens you control get +2/+2. 2 green and or black. You may cast 1 undead citizen from your limbo pile this turn with the total cost, soul cost of 2 or less. Activate only once per turn. Nice. Camilla Human, 11/5, 3-drop, 2 white or blue, white and or blue. Other non-dead undead citizens you control enter the island eager. They got haste. All right, Corpse Heist Spell, 3-drop, all green and or black. Return target citizen card from any limbo pile to the island under your control with a total soul cost of 3 or less. If you're short on time, you may instead return target citizen with total soul cost of 5 or less. So far, it seems like the undead are where it's at. But you can mix up factions in the game too. And this is a spell, not necessarily undead. Yeah. Right. Drop this one. Unholy Mess. Spell. 5-drop. Costs 1 generic and 4 either blue and or green. Destroy all citizens unless casting it for its 11-year cost. You may only cast Unholy Mess on your turn. If you're short on time, probe 1, then draw 1. Yeah, so casting spells, the current turn player has the priority, then the non-active player gets the next option. So goes back and forth like that. Adriel Human, 8/4, 2-drop, 1 white. Sacrifice Adriel. Target citizen gets +6/+6 and becomes steadfast until end of turn. And attacking doesn't cost the citizen to become engaged. Ruination Spill, 3-drop, either black or blue. Destroy target citizen. You may target a citizen on the island or in a soul roll. Azizi Mystic, 7/5, blue and green. Sidestep. Whenever a non-undead citizen dies under your control, you may pay blue-green. If you do, return Azizi from your limbo pile to the island under your control at the end of your next end of turn phase. Then we got Fion and Ascendant, kind of like a demigod, I take it. 9/9, cost 4-drop, 2 generic, 2 black. Steadfast. Fion gets +1/+1 for every citizen card in your soul roll. If you're short on time when Fion dies, draw 1. Trivialize. Spell. 2-drop, 1 blue or white. Target citizen becomes a 3/3 with no abilities until it leaves the island. Fredonia Mystic. 4/4, 1 green. Fredonia gets +1/+1 for every other Mystic citizen you control. Make you want to build mono type right there. Charlie's Ascendancy. Spell. 2 costs. 1 blue, 1 white. 1 blue and or white. 1 blue or white. Target citizen gets +6/+6 and gains sidestep until end of turn. Draw 1. Detention. Spell. 5-drop. 3 green and or black. Gain control of target citizen until end of turn. If you are short on time, gain control of target citizen permanently. Instead, it becomes eager until end of turn. Still a creature. Impose withdrawal. 3-drop spell. 2 blue or white. Return 1 target citizen to their owner's hand. If you are short on time, return up to 2 citizens to their owner's hand instead. Scoop up. Ethereal Combat. Spell. 4-drop, 2 green, 2 blue. Destroy target citizen. If you're short on time, that citizen card is added to your soul roll instead of entering its owner's limbo pile. Engage it. Morning Muster. 2-drop, 1 blue or white. Look at all of your 11-year cards. You may place one of those cards into your limbo pile. If you do, move the top card of your main deck to your 11-year card roll. Target citizen gets +3/+3 for each 11-year card you control until end of turn. Right. And then just for the sake of doing something different, we'll read this 11-year effect right here. You may discard this card and draw 1 if this card was drawn as a destroyed 11-year card. So the spells have these kind of effects, but the citizens have, like, you can cast it for this much soul. All right, Born from Embers. Spell. 4-drop, 3 green and or white. Abolish target citizen with a total soul cost of 2 or less, then return that citizen to the island under your control. If you're short on time, you may abolish target citizen with total soul cost of 3 or less. Yeah, see, that thing is spelled cold, not soul. But still beta, wouldn't that? Sanction Studies. Spell. 2-drop, generic. Target player plays with their 11-year cards face up for the rest of the game. Draw 1. If you're short on time, probe 1, then draw 1 instead. Artemisia's Revenge. Spell. 4-drop, 2 black and or white. Abolish target citizen from the island or abolish target card from soul roll. From a soul roll. One thing I like about this game is, like, you know, it's a nice change of pace from, like, some of the current games like Digimon, WeCross, or whatnot, where there's just so much going on a card. It's nice to have a game where, like, you know, you got your casting costs, you got your attack defense, you got this one little extra added effect where you can play the stuff cheaper when your shield is broken. You got how much, then there's no mana cards, specifically no land cards. You know, any card is a land and it's one of 2 things. And then you got your text box. So just not doing all that extra crazy stuff. It's good to have that. But it's still strategic. I liked it. So Renewed Tenacity. Spell. 3-drop. Green and or black. Return target citizen in your limbo pile with a total cost of 5 or less to the island. Unless casting Renewed Tenacity for its 11-year cost. You can only cast Renewed Tenacity on your turn. If you are short on time, you may cast Renewed Tenacity at any time you could normally play a spell. This might take the place for like a new Argent Saga, you know, that Kaijudo Dual Masters Realm. And it's got the added wrinkle of being a hardcore game. I like that. Alright, Fatal Poke, spell, cost 2 drop, black and white. Destroy target citizen with a total soul cost of 4 or more. Then we got Underworld Escort, spell, 4 drop, black and green, blue and green, blue and or green. Destroy all citizens with a total soul cost of 3 or less. If you're short on time, you may destroy all citizens with a total soul cost of 4 or less instead. So may give you some good options right there. Midnight Meander, spell, 1 drop, green or black. Move target card from any opponent's limbo pile to your limbo pile. Probe 1. Grave Swap, spell. Nice, this colonial art right here. 2 drop, green and or black. Place all of your 11-year cards in your limbo pile. Then place that many cards from your main deck into your 11-year row face down in a random order. And if you're short on time, draw 1. Insatiable Cruelty. Costs 4 drop, 1 generic, 2 black, 1 white. Count your 11-year cards. You may have that many target citizens you control, plus 1 become ravenous until end of turn. Draw 1 if you're short on time. Draw 2, then probe 1 instead. Man, let's see what ravenous is. Ravenous is citizens that are ravenous can target and destroy 2 11-year cards when attacking. At time of damage resolution, the attacking player chooses the order in which those 11-year cards are destroyed. Hope you got that. Man, let me read it again. Ravenous. Citizens that are ravenous can target and destroy 2 11-year cards when... Okay, so double swing, double attack. Double shield break, whatever you call it. At the time of damage resolution, the attacking player chooses the order in which those 11-year cards are destroyed. Okay, nice. Ravenous is hit 2 shields at once. Cool. All right, Insatiable Cruelty, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I read that one already. Okay, then we got Boneyard Survey, spell. Look at the top 3 cards of your main deck. Place 2 of them in your limbo pile and 1 in your hand. 1 green or black. Rash Judgment, spell. 3 drop, green and or blue. Counter target spell or citizen. If you control 2 or less 11-year cards, Rash Judgment enters your soul row engaged instead of your limbo pile when it resolves. Nice. So instead of getting discarded, it goes to the soul row. Alright, Blue Ruin, spell. 4 drop, 1 generic, 3 black and or white. Move target citizen with total cost of 3 or less from a soul row to the island under your control. If you're short on time, that citizen becomes eager. Gertrude, Undead, 4 drop, 1 generic, 3 black, 8, 12, sidestep. Whenever Gertrude blocks, she becomes toxic until end of turn. Okay, I'm sure toxic is deadly. Toxic, any battle damage that's dealt by a citizen with toxic, that is toxic, results in that creature being destroyed. Yeah, deadly. Okay, and there's a big overarching story with, like, you know, kind of like Mortal Kombat. The guys, the Ascendants, or either some guys higher than the Ascendants, they bring them to the island and they make them fight for Mortal Kombat. And then if they lose the fight, then they become the seeds of another world. Yeah. A lot of a whole bunch of lore written already, like a bunch of pages written for this story already. So be on the lookout for that Kryptik story. Ayla Mystic, 3/5, 1 blue. Eager. You may pay 2 blue and or green to abolish Ayla from the island. Anytime you could play a spell. If you do, prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn. Nice. Noland Undead. 4-drop. 2 green and or black. 10/10. If you control another undead citizen, Noland becomes toxic. If you control two other undead citizens, Noland gains sidestep. If you control 3 or other undead citizens, Noland becomes ravenous. So great for mono undead deck. Pollux Mystic and S&M guy. 1 green and 1 green or blue. 5/3. Pollux becomes toxic if you control no ascendant citizens. Okay. If you are short on time when Pollux dies, you may draw 1. Nice. Killian Undead. 4-drop, 2 green, 9/11. Abolish an 11-year card you control. Killian becomes toxic and must be blocked by 2 or more citizens until end of turn. Activate only once per turn. Moxie Mystic. 2 green, 5/7. Citizens you don't control with a total soul cost of 3 or less enter the island engaged. Okay, tap down the enemy. Wolfric Undead. 6-drop. 2 green, 2 black. 15/15. Sidestep. Whenever Wolfric attacks, you may return target citizen card from your limbo pile to the island. Engaged and attacking. If it dies in combat, abolish it. If it does not, place it in your soul row engaged at the end of your turn. This card is amazing. That card is amazing. 6-drop. All right, Canaan, the Book of Canaan. 50 Cent, back on that gangster-ish. All right, 4-drop, 2 black, 10/10. Ascendant and other undead citizens you control are toxic. Nice. Ozara Mystic. 2 blue, 6/6. Whenever an 11-year card is destroyed, you may return Ozara to your hand. If you do, return target citizen to its owner's hand. Man, this is 27 minutes. You know what? I think I'm going to bust this up into 2 30-minute videos is what I'm going to do. And try to remember not to go into so many details for the next video. But all right, I'm keeping going for another 2 minutes or so. Pluto and Undead. 6-drop. 2 generic. 2 green. 1 black. 14/11. Whenever an 11-year card is destroyed under your control, you may return target citizen from your limbo pile to the island. If you are short on time, you may also draw 1. Brenna, Undead. 3-drop, 10/6, 2 black. Whenever Brenna enters the island, target player places an 11-year card they control of your choosing face up for the rest of the game. If you're on short time, they place 2 face up instead. Escort Mystic. 8/8, 3 blue. When Escort enters the island, you may return target citizen from the island to its owner's hand. Samara Undead. 13/12. 5-drop, 3 green. Abolish target non-mystic citizen card from your limbo pile. Samara becomes ravenous until end of turn. Target opponent discards a card of their choosing when Samara dies. Rolf, Undead. 11/5. 3-drop. 1 green, 1 black. Sidestep. When Rolf enters the island, probe 2. Okay, and it says there, to probe, you draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Okay, I was wrong. Not a scry, but draw 2, discard 2. Okay, every time you discard a non-mystic citizen, Rolf gets +4/+4 till end of turn. Nice. Perfect. Gotta have probe. All right, this will be the last card for right now, because we're only through less than half of the cards. So One more 30-minute video, we'll get through all of these cards. They're all unique too, I believe, from what I've peeped out. Ayla Mystic. 2-drop, 1 blue, 2/2. Ayla can't attack. Ayla can't be blocked. Ayla can't block. Ayla can't be blocked. Cool. All right, 30 minutes. Get to the rest of these tomorrow. And I will bid you guys Tuvok. Yeah. Tuvok. Like, comment, subscribe for your games.